Hey YouTube, what's up? This is Andre here with 5 Awesome Musicians, and today I'm going to start a semi-regular feature titled Anatomy of a Song, in which I'll dissect a musical theater song's structure and lyrics and provide both a historical and performance context for the song. We're going to start with one of my absolute favorite songs and one of the great torch songs in the musical theater repertoire, Losing My Mind, from the 1971 show by Stephen Sondheim and James Goldman, Follies. I figured we should start big, because even though the notes in the song are technically easy, the song and the show have several layers of complexity that are necessary to sift through and explore for a successful performance. Follies was the second successful collaboration between Stephen Sondheim and director-producer Hal Prince, following closely on the heels of their 1970 hit Company. Follies takes place in an abandoned theater on the eve of its destruction to be turned into a parking lot. Members of the Weissman Follies, who performed on the stage in the 20s, 30s, and 40s, are gathered for a reunion, for one final party on the theater's stage. They are accompanied by ghosts of the theater, ghosts of their younger selves, and ghosts of their regrets. I should add here that Follies is a complicated show with several different layers of meaning and interpretation, so I apologize if I gloss over a few of the facts in order to get to the meat of Losing My Mind. But hey, I said I was going to start big, and I didn't lie. The musical numbers in Follies are a mix of book songs, which help develop the characters and plot, and pastiche song, imitation numbers meant to evoke and pay tribute to the great songwriters of the early 20th century. The pastiche songs, though, usually have an extra layer of meaning to them. While they are ostensibly supposed to be songs that were performed by the Weissman girls, upon further analysis, these songs too can show the underlying nature of the characters. Losing My Mind is one of those pastiche songs, and Sondheim has acknowledged the clear debt and imitation of the great Gershwin standard, The Man I Love. The Man I Love deserves a video all of its own, so I won't go into details about that song here, or about the comparisons with Losing My Mind. But if you weren't aware of the connection, listen to The Man I Love, and then listen to Losing My Mind. The influence will be pretty clear. Losing My Mind occurs near the end of the show, in the middle of a dreamlike folly sequence, right after the comic vaudevillian song Buddy's Blues. And the emotional and musical contrast could not be more dramatic. We go from a wacky, upbeat number where Buddy is running around on stage in histrionic fashion to Sally, underneath a single spotlight, alone and paralyzed on stage, as well as in her feelings for Ben. Losing My Mind is in a standard 32-bar AABA form, which is repeated before modulating and repeating one final A section. In just 73 measures, Sondheim concisely sums up the obsession and the paralysis of Sally's mental state for her unrequited love. The melody is pretty repetitive, and like I mentioned earlier, it is fairly easy technically, with a modest range of about an octave and a fifth, and the tessitura lies around an octave. The main motive is this two-measure phrase that makes up the bulk of every A section. And that melody is supported by a simple harmonic device that moves us from the tonic of A flat to the subdominant of D flat before moving back to dominant and then back to tonic at the beginning of the A section. The harmonic device sounds like this. And then we're at D flat, the subdominant. This harmonic device of keeping a pedal tonic chord with one tone moving by half step to progress from the tonic to the subdominant is similar to what Richard Rodgers used in My Funny Valentine, although he uses it to progress to the sixth chord. And it's also similar to what Bob Crewe and Bob Gaudio used in Can't Take My Eyes Off You, although both Richard Rodgers and the Four Seasons writing team moved downward by half step, whereas Sondheim moves upward by half step. Sondheim also uses this half step motion in the B section, and it becomes a connective harmonic thread of the entire song. The B section in part sounds like this. Lyrically, the title already evokes the image of a forlorn love song. Sondheim's lyrics take us through the course of a day, with Sally waking up in the morning and thinking about the man she loves immediately. We are taken from the sun coming up in the morning to spending time with friends and doing household chores, both of which could be but are not distractions. To the twilight hours and sleepless nights spent paralyzed by the thought and regret of opportunity and love lost. It is here, in the nighttime, that we see Sondheim's prowess at writing lyrics. The final A section starts with, I dim the lights and think about you, spend sleepless nights to think about you. The words and to are tiny words, but the difference is as large as when Ira Gershwin wrote, someday he'll come along, the man I love, instead of someday he'll come along, the man I'll love. Sondheim could have easily written spend sleepless nights and think about you, and kept the parallelism of the phrases, but that is not how Sally operates. She does not have bouts of insomnia, and while she's trying to fall asleep, she doesn't find her mind drifting to thoughts of Ben. She intentionally stays awake to think about him. And it is that one small word, T-O, that demonstrates that and gets to the heart of that. If that's not obsession, I don't know what is.
And I'd be like, why are you so obsessed with me?
Anyway, that's where I'm going to leave it at for today. I hope you at least got a little bit of insight into Losing My Mind. Like I said, one of the great torch songs of the musical theater repertoire. Go ahead and leave some comments down below about some other songs you'd like to hear discussed in this. Like I said at the top, I'd like to make this a semi-regular feature for my Tuesdays on 5 Awesome Musicians. I'm going to post some YouTube links down below of some of my favorite recordings of Losing My Mind. 2 that you definitely need to check out. One is Liza Minnelli and the Pet Shop Boys. And the other one is Dame Edna, who inserts this fantastic monologue in the middle that absolutely cannot be missed. I hope you all have a great week, and I look forward to sharing some more insights into musical theater repertoire with you in the future. Bye!